Oh.
Whoa, that was so good.
Yeah,
that sucked. All right,
That
was good. All right, hey, welcome everybody to episode 50 of What Are You Drinking Now here at the office.
Yeah, happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday.
Yep, we are in week 8 of our enforced isolation in the bunker deep underground.
Has it only been 8 weeks? Has it already been 8
I think
weeks?
it's been longer than that actually, but
It
you
might
lose
be
track.
closer to 10.
Yeah.
worst groundhog
Check.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
we're here and we're gonna drink some beer and wine.
she's back.
I'm back.
I told you it wasn't morning sickness.
What?
It's
Yeah,
far
he
from
was
it.
right. I did yell at him about all of that.
As well as you should have.
You got
Thanks. Josh was about to ring the both of us out on air.
Well, I want to thank Josh for being at my defense last week.
Although I want to step in right there and say I don't want to thank Josh specifically because he threw me under the bus. I hadn't said anything about it. Anyways, we are glad Christina's back.
my
I'm
bad.
happy to be back. I'm feeling much better.
Feeling much better and sassy.
Very sassy.
They're gonna have to
so
watch last
out.
episode just to know.
Okay, so tonight I'm having for my palate cleanser the Piping Plover Pilsner again. You know, I had this last week. I really like it. I think
It's
it's
a good beer.
great little beer. Wrightsville Beach Brewery, great job.
I'm also keeping it local. I'm gonna go Flying Machine. This is the Vimana. This is their Kolsch style ale.
Nice little beer there too.
Hey, I'll just follow up on that note. I'm finishing up the Moonscape, also from Flying Machine. That's the oatmeal pale. Yeah, nice beer. Goes good. I just got off a couple of Sierra Nevadas with dinner, so this is falling right behind them.
Cool.
Very nicely. But during the program tonight, actually, I'm going to be sipping on another Lager of the Lakes, the Bohemian Pilsner.
Mm-hmm.
Nice neutral, a little bit of spice for Nick with the hops. But, you know, we got some cool things on the menu, so I didn't want to overdo it.
I'm going international with my Dragon's Breath cider.
Yummy.
Yeah.
You know, over there in England. I have to drink it because we're not going to be able to get it.
Yeah, we're down to
We're down to a little bit.
just at 3 cases.
Yeah, I know. I love this stuff. It's good. Ginger apple cider. It's got that nice burn on the back end.
What we were just talking about there is the fact that distribution on this has become unavailable until another one of our local distributors picks it up. So Josh has 3 cases to dig through, and that's if you guys don't beat him to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had somebody yesterday say they're going to come and pick up a bunch.
I haven't claimed
It's a
it
good
because
cider.
I know it's
a
good.
really nice cider.
All right, so what is our first beer tonight?
I think we signed out. Who said they were going first?
I
Me.
believe Josh is gonna go
Oh,
first.
wow, that's cool. I didn't
While
know
he
you
pulls
picked that
out real
out.
quick, we did change the angle around a little bit tonight so that we're actually looking at each other
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
us turning our heads looking back at them. So hopefully that will help a little bit with my neck the next day and so forth.
Yeah. Let us know how you think about this setup, guys.
Yeah, any of it actually. Feel free to comment on
We
anything.
can keep using this underground bunker even after the quarantine's been lifted.
Yep.
Typically, things that are most often made fun of, my crappy Midwest accent, Rob's bald head, Josh's beard, but really no one's made fun of anything Christina yet. So
Well, I'm perfect, so.
Mm.
I told you guys it's sassy today. All right, Josh. I'm gonna hold the can up. Why don't you do a little intro on this?
I don't know a whole lot about this. Relatively new arrival. I do love the brewery, Blowing Rock. They've always made good stuff. But this is a cranberry Kolsch.
Western North Carolina, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Western North Carolina.
It's actually in Blowing Rock,
In Blowing
North Carolina,
Rock,
or
yeah.
it's in Hickory, but right there at
Close
it.
enough. It's all about the same
Yeah.
once you get up that way. But they make really good beer.
they used to
universally.
make it next
Can
to the ice cream
interject?
shop. That's in the
It's cranberry pomegranate.
yeah.
I did
So
not
it's got
see that.
It's got the double fruit in there.
So
Now
cran
I
palm.
have had this. I drank one a couple weeks ago, so I'm excited to hear what you guys think of it.
I would say right away I'm enticed by the nose on this, and it's true to labeling, has the fruit and the Kolsch in there, which brings to mind something I'm just going to throw right out there with the nose. Cranberry has this zinc-like metallic flavor to it. As well, pomegranate kind of does too, both these red fruits. And Kolsch always has this bronzy, metallic-y,
Okay.
kind of good flavor. If it's done right, you're gonna get this. This is one of those times when it's a good thing.
Yeah,
I'm thinking this could be a really good palate.
the cranberry and pomegranate both are very tart style fruits too, so they give you a lot of flavor out of both of those.
They're both kind of thought of as like winter season fruits too. I think.
Little thing like pomegranate's my absolute favorite fruit in the
It's
world.
one of my favorites.
I
too.
can eat those to no end until my mouth gets sore, like I'm eating sour.
The
Patch
seeds
Kids.
are weird. I appreciate all the juices that have come out.
Yeah,
But there's nothing like some broken up fresh pineapple, pomegranate kernels with some goat cheese or gorgonzola in like a Waldorf type salad.
So I'm gonna say that the cranberry is jumping out at me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, same.
On the palate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you guys think. Is this everybody's first time sipping
This
on this one?
this is my
Me
No,
first
I've
too.
time.
had,
Yeah.
I've had this one before.
I'm not getting a whole lot of fruit on the actual palate. I mean, a little bit.
I get it right at the beginning.
For me, I'm getting it more on the palate than I am on the nose.
Really?
I'm
great
getting more of it
esters
on the
this.
finish, man.
Yeah.
Like the finish of it is where the
And
fruit.
Fine.
A little
I
bit
get
of
fruit
juice.
on
I get
on
the palm
finish of
juice really on the finish.
palate.
There is also a little tannic feature, which I think lends towards the nature of pomegranate and cranberry.
hmm
The tough skin, kind of like.
'Cause I'm not getting
Seeds.
tans on this.
No,
But I'm getting it, but maybe not. You know.
so the first time I drank this, I was not a huge fan. This second one that I've had, I enjoyed this one much better than the first one.
So
I'm not sure what's about it. Whether I drink it straight out of the can. It wasn't as cold as it is now. Now I'm in a glass. It's very nice and chilled, so I don't know if maybe that is a factor. I will say that I like this better than I did the first time.
I'd say I prefer this to a Berliner Weiss or something like that.
Oh no.
Nah,
You guys are a big fan of those. That to me is
Yeah.
like a jelly donut.
So is this
beers.
as tart as you really want to get? Personal, personal palate.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, I like how true to a nice Kolsch this is, with just a lending a little fruit tartness. I mean, if I'm gonna go fruit beers, I guess I go into like, we'll get into the Lambic, we'll get into the
Yeah, but see,
fruit-driven beer.
you're passing the sours when you're jumping straight to the lambics. I mean, this, I agree with you. This is a nice little solid Kolsch, and it's got the fruit going on with it. I agree 100%. But I think going and
It's
pushing
a
towards
little bit of a jump.
sour is a jump.
Well, I say I would take this. I would rather have this than say
Than
Berliner
sour.
Weiss.
And that's probably your personal, knowing you, that's your personal
Yeah.
preference.
And I think that's what Christina was picking up on.
Yeah.
Is, comparatively, you guys are probably all going to defend the style of a Berliner Weiss.
I would.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
Personally, I
it's
would.
hard to
It's one of
find
my
a Berliner
favorite
Weiss
styles.
that's made like an actual Berliner
Berliner
Weiss
Weiss.
should be made.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you
isn't
can
that
call
true
it.
of Kolsch?
No.
There are a lot of Kolsch's out there that
It's a
don't
Kolsch
really hold up
style.
to a Kolsch.
Aha.
It can only
So-
be a Kolsch if it's 30 miles around
Cologne.
Cologne.
Or,
So-
or Cologne.
Yeah. So everything that's made in the United States is all Kolsch style.
Mad maven of beer.
Dude, unless you have some like weird town in Ohio called like Cologne, and
Cologne.
you brew beer.
Yeah, it's
there.
got to be within that 30-mile radius of
Yeah,
Cologne.
and then I mean that's when you're getting it in like the super like skinny little Kolsch glasses.
You'd
And
be in
it's-
Door County, Wisconsin, though. Let's get it right.
So, we've had a couple in the shop, Berliner Weiss, not from,
yeah.
Germany or whatever.
they probably
Well,
said
a
style.
Berliner,
style.
but
Yeah.
with Berliners, it's like the lightest sour there is. As far as like the sour aspect.
I want to say Sweetwater made one a couple years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
A Berliner, you really want it to barely be sour,
So-
if it even is.
So this actually big. Okay, I'm glad I brought this up. I sort of backed myself into a greater understanding of why Christina would say this is a Kolsch with tart flavors, and then we have a whole category of sours. And there I went and compared this beer with a sour, which again I'm just going to say that's a great testament to the quality of this beer. Blowing Rock's known for just average, affordable craft brew.
Yeah.
Packaged in can. They were one of the early North Carolinas. As far as doing a distinguished regional style with fruit flavors, that's not been their specialty. I'm pretty impressed. It
Yeah.
tastes like a really good Kolsch style beer, and I really dig the light tartness
Sorry,
of the
one
fruit
of my distributors is
without being overbearingly juicy or
I like the tartness.
sweet. Yeah.
I think this is a really good beer. You get that just enough of the fruit. I like it because it doesn't overpower the Kolsch. You know, they all work together and like synergy and.
I like that the fruits are both tart style, so you're not getting a weird sweetness in the middle. You're not getting a true tartness all the way through. I mean, it's a solid beer. I definitely can say that I enjoyed the second one more than I enjoyed my first.
I like
so
the-
that's a good.
I like the gulp more than the sip. Like I like it if I take a bigger gulp versus if I sip.
But
it
I'm
slowly.
also drinking just a standard Kolsch style as my palate cleanser, so it's fun to see the difference
Yeah.
in what that fruit really does to that beer.
So yeah, and I think because definitely with the pomegranate and the cranberry, it's definitely tart and not sour. Difference between tart and sour.
Do you remember the Pilgrimage? That was a very like cranberry beer that didn't really. It was a saison.
I vaguely remember that.
Cranberry just did not win me over with that beer. This
Oh,
beer,
I do remember that now. Yeah.
This beer, I really feel like, just like you're saying there, it really captures just the slight tartness without being overbearing
Yep.
fruit flavors.
Yep.
Sorry.
Well, and we're going to have another tart beer come in later this week from Bell's that we
So
can,
maybe we can do that one next week.
that
and-
I know will probably, just based on the flavor profiles that they were talking, is definitely going to be a step up in tartness.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to this next beer. Nick, do you want to
Yeah.
introduce it?
So this is another North Carolina beer. So staying in state again here. Hop rooted India Pale Ale from Seven Clans Brewery. They are. I forget the actual locale. I think it's written on there.
Is it Murphy?
It's in
Cherokee?
Canton.
Canton. Okay, yeah, we're thinking Cherokee, Murphy, Canton. You know, it's deep in the valleys of the Smokies.
Yeah.
This is actually brewed by native. Is it a collection of?
No,
Native
it's brewed
people?
by a brewing company called Bear Waters.
Okay.
But they are Native American owned, I believe,
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
and women.
All
Women
right.
owners.
Yeah. More power to you. You know, one of my favorite breweries, Lost Coast, is a
Yep.
women
Women
powered
in
brewery.
Power Brewery
Yeah.
too. That's one of my favorites as well.
Great statement. Because why say, oh, it's just women, whereas just
I really love this
acknowledging the
can, you
power
guys.
of
It's got
women.
this
Yeah.
really cool, like
yeah.
rustic style. It's called Hop Rooted. It's
Oh,
got
yeah,
this
it's
like
a really cool theme.
handfuls of hops just covered with actual roots. It's a cool little design style. I dig it a lot.
I'm excited about trying their IPA. I've noticed that there are other beers that we've tried. I
The
think
Bended
one
Tree?
on the
The
Bended
chestnut,
Tree, that's a chestnut brown.
Mhm.
So we really love the malt, just a true malt development in that.
So,
So,
I hope this is kind of
I'm
hop.
hoping I see some good malt development with just like clean hop profiles. We'll see what we get.
So the nose to me is coming through a little juicy.
Citrusy too.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Yeah,
get a
that's
little
what I get.
lemon,
Like
clementine?
orange. When I say juicy, when it comes to an IPA, I'm really talking about orange juice.
Orange.
type.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
Yeah.
citrusy definitely. I agree.
Kind of like that sweet orange juice, yeah.
It actually has that nice little golden, yellow,
Tangerine,
orangey
mandarin,
color to it
clementine.
as well, guys.
Yeah, I mean, as far as citrus, I agree. I mean, but for me, juicy is talking that orange juice type citrus.
I kind of like that. To me, there's a big difference between the nose and the palate. I don't get a lot of citrus on the
I'm not-
palate.
Yeah, I don't get juicy like when we talk about all those Nipas. I don't get anything like that. So while I caught what you're saying on the nose, it just
Yeah, I'm trying to place what's on the palate for me.
Grass.
well remember
It is
the
a
deep
little
malts.
grassy,
Yeah, little
which
grassy.
I was surprised because I was anticipating a lot more of that like bitter fruit, almost that orange peel.
Yeah, orange zest. I could get like orange zest or like orange pith almost, you know.
I can
You
see
get
that.
like the white part, but
Mhm.
like I was expecting a lot more on the nose.
It's a really
Yeah.
fruity
Like-
dryness to this. It's
Yeah,
just dry.
It's different.
The
I
malt,
think I like it though.
The malt comes
barley
through.
malt that we experienced with the chestnut brown is really toned down. It's a much clearer. I don't even get caramels.
We didn't go through this with the last one, but it comes in a little 12-ounce canned, and we're sitting at 6.5% ABV.
Last one was 5.5.
Honestly,
yeah, 5.5 on this Kolsch.
this reminds me more of like
Same
an English
can.
style IPA than an American style because it's relatively mild on the hop front.
It is.
Yeah.
Because the malt, I'm getting like the malt and
What's
the biscuit
IBU,
coming
does it
through.
say?
That's what I was just looking for. IBUs are not listed.
I don't think it's that high. I mean,
Josh's description does not surprise me. I just feel like they're really focused on just fine crafting of a beer before they're gonna get out there with, extreme flavor profiles. And so it's just, to me, it's a very pleasant, well-centered beer. This is the IPA, so it's bitter versus being malty and nutty.
Mhm.
I'm on the fence on whether, I mean,
It's
Christine-
bitter, but
Christine
it's,
says she thinks she likes it. I'm on the fence on whether I do or don't. I mean,
the
So,
bitters
according
in
How
the
do you
back.
feel about the body, the bubbles? Does it?
it's
to
really
me, it's a little
thin.
flat. like
I-
it's not. Yeah, it's
The
not. It
body's
doesn't stick to
thin.
my tongue.
Mhm. I kind of felt that a little bit. That's why I wanted to ask.
According to the can, it looks like it's they're utilizing the Centennial hop, and then they then dry hop it even more. So there's
Straight
a double.
Centennial?
That's the only one they mentioned, so I'm assuming that it's probably a single hop beer.
That explains it all. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Centennial's not really one of the most aromatic beer like hops out there. It's nothing like I wouldn't call it anything like Mosaic or.
So you think
Yeah.
that they are going for the English style IPA? And
Well,
it
according
definitely-
to the can, they're saying it's more of an American style, but
It's
it's
definitely-
single hopped.
It's hoppier. It could be a smash. Like a
Yeah.
single malt and single hop. It
That
could be that.
would not
If
surprise me.
that's the case, this is phenomenal. If it's like a smash beer, because that's you brew those to like really isolate the flavors of like a single hop, isolate the flavors of single malt.
Josh, can you explain to the audience what dry hop even actually means?
Yeah, so anytime you're brewing beer, you have several stages. Typically, you always have to have at least a 60-minute boil, and then you have the fermentation period after that. You can boil it for longer than 60 minutes, and then you get like dogfish, 90 minutes, stuff like that. But when you add hops into the boil, then you're using bittering hops, aromatic hops, flavoring hops, things like that, depending on when you add them into the boil. When you dry hop a beer is when it's out of the boil, in the tank, and it's like fermenting or almost done fermenting, or you've got crashing it, trying to clear it out. You'll throw hops in literally to get the smell and aroma without getting the bitter. So you're really just getting the flavor of the hop without the bitterness, because you have to boil hops to like at least a few minutes to get any kind of bitterness and oils out of them.
so by dry hopping and being a single hop beer, then they just boiled the malts.
Well, they're saying that they utilize it first and then they dry hop it even more for an extra punch at the end.
For example, like when you're brewing a beer, like if you throw hops in, because there are always some hops you throw in at the 60-minute mark,
Yeah.
right when you start. And those are bittering hops. Like by the time the boil's done, you're not going to taste anything from it. It's literally just going to bitter the beer up.
Yeah.
Sometimes
And
they'll
then-
be powder
IBUs.
or even pellets.
So every time you add hops in after that 60-minute mark, you're going to get more of the flavor out of the hop. Like when I brewed beer, I've thrown in some at like 5 minutes out from the end of the boil, 2.5 minutes out, just
get
to
a
literally
little
get
bit.
that flavor.
Yeah.
I don't want the bitterness from it. And each different kind of hop has different levels of alpha acids, beta acids, and all
And
that
it's like
stuff.
the humalone and cohumalone.
Mhm, and they all
that
affect,
factor.
like, the
Not to,
bitterness.
Very
not to
scientific.
oversimplify, but if you are at home and you want to steep your bag of green tea, and you
Mhm.
steep for 3 minutes, you're going to get a flavor that is slightly bitter, slightly tannic, but tastes like a green tea leaf. If you steep that for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get a whole nother flavor profile, one that's far more bitter. But let's say you take some boiling water, you let that boiling water sit to almost where it's barely steaming, you break open your tea bag and you just crush some green leaf teas on top. You're going to get a completely different
tea.
flavor, a different tea than you do
Okay.
with your steeped
Oh, yeah.
tea. And
I
this
just
is
figured it was a good little thing to talk about
An
since it
analogy
popped
I
up
heard.
because I've noticed on the scene there has been a lot of these big pushing, double dry hop or dry hopped and this. So it's a good thing for people to
I-
realize what's
I-
going on.
I
with
crack
them.
up
The
when we see, like, the
important
same
thing to
beer.
remember about dry hopping is there's honestly a cap
to
like,
how much.
I
yeah.
have had a beer from McKellar that was dry hopped with 14 different kinds of hops. A little bit of overkill. You really can't taste any of the individual hops at that point. you
Yeah.
know?
At what point do they just use hops like a sponge? Then they squeeze the beer out of the hops.
I swear it's just like it was. They were just brewing like 14 different kinds of beer. The brewer just swept up the floor, just like
Yeah.
toss it in there.
Well,
yeah.
I can say that this beer is a little bit lighter than I anticipated.
Mine's
I
gone.
thought it
I'm gonna
Yeah,
follow
mine's,
up on
I
that.
think we're all gone.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna move on.
Yeah, let's move on because I'm still debating on whether I like that or not. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
I'm with Rob on that. There was elements I really like, and there are some things I'm left wondering. So, Christine says light, so it might just come down to the body of the beer itself.
Yeah.
Snap
So
the
this is
open.
Christina's beer.
My beer of choice.
Awesome. I've been
Oh,
waiting to try
yeah.
this.
Going back to an original style beer.
It's so good, you guys. I'm so excited. I really hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
Okay, I'll take an extra little.
Take an
So-
extra little splash.
So while the boys over there are pouring it, this is the Row Hard
Row
Root
hard
beer.
root beer.
Show
Like
you the color on this. This is
legitimate
genuinely
root
dark.
beer.
So one of the things before Prohibition, root beer was beer.
Palate.
It had alcohol in it. They brewed it specifically as a beer. They also, of course, brewed it as a medicine a lot of times. The snake oil salesman. But this is an original recipe way back when. So this is freaking root beer.
So this.
So
They're
it's brewed
claiming
by
that-
Root Cellars Fermentables. Row hard root beer. It's so good, you guys.
So
Oh
they're
man.
claiming
I don't know why. I
It
let
smells
Steve
like root
sell
It
beer
it
just
for
smells
us.
like root beer from your childhood.
It smells like root beer with alcohol in it because
Like
you get a
it's-
little bit of heat.
Now there is a little heat on this. Take a wild
That
guess what the
smells like
ABV
root
on
beer.
this is.
I used to go to the old
Is it like
A&W.
6?
It is 6.7%
so
alcohol in
this
this, you
is
guys.
not your dad's root
It
beer, whatever it
is
is.
legitimate.
This is A&W
Holy-
root beer that has.
There's a nice
What?
caramel tone in there
It's
that's
so,
really
like
pleasant.
I can't wait.
Is this brewed with sarsaparilla or sassafras, or does it say?
It's probably both because the original root beer was sarsaparilla.
Or well, sassafras I thought was original. Then they had to move to sarsaparilla because sassafras was banned.
I told him to go before we
Before we
started.
started.
I did.
It's always
It's
one of those
brewed
cases.
with botanicals, so that's going to be either.
It's
yours-
probably a little bit of both.
It's that, and then it's got molasses and the pure cane sugar.
Or
So-
actually, it's probably sarsaparilla because sassafras is still banned from use.
I'm going to tell you on the
Beverages.
nose.
It's-
One of the things I really dig about this beer is
Mm.
the
Oh,
It's
I love this.
the nose is just so nice.
nostalgic,
Yeah.
right? I know root beer is not everybody's thing, for sure. Like, it's definitely a specific flavor. However, it's one of my flavors. Like, this is like root beer is just my go-to soda. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's Stewart's or A&W. I don't discriminate. Like, give me all the root beer. So when we got this in, I was very, very excited. I ended up drinking one that night, and it blew me away.
Had you never had it before?
No.
Oh, I've drank so much of this stuff. It's not even
Not the
funny.
real hard. I've had the Not Your Father's, which to me is
Oh,
insanely sweet.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, root beer immediately is sweet, no matter what. It's literally sugar.
but this one you
The
get a
Not Your
lot more
Dad's
root
was-
and a lot
It's
less sweet.
so good.
The Not
It's
Your Dad's
like-
is very malty. This tastes like root beer
But
soda.
just the nose
Like-
is so good. I mean, you got
I love it.
you got the molasses that just is.
If you
So
if you
much
had
fun.
There's a great caramel
if you had a
tone, there's
Yankee
nice
candle
vanilla.
in this smell, you'd burn
Oh,
it in your
oh my god,
house.
I'd burn it all
I
night.
haven't taken a
I-
taste of it yet. Just
it's
the
like-
smell is.
Oh,
I
it's so
know
good.
that this is alcoholic, and so I'm searching for the alcohol and the flavor, and I catch glimpses of it here and there, just different ways it affects
But
flavors.
it's
But
And
dangerous.
here's the funny thing: 6.7.
That's
This is the highest ABV of what we've had so far.
Of everything we've
It's
had.
so good, you guys. It'll sneak up on you.
There
Because
definitely is a
you
malt
smell
tone.
a little bit of the heat, Josh, but to me on the flavor, I really don't get much
Oh no,
of it.
it's covered up on the palate.
This
like
is
you can't
a
taste it.
flavor, or this is a beer that you can drink all day, and you can
Now, I don't want to see what I would feel like the next day after this.
just because of the sugar.
sugar
content.
Just solely because of the
You
sugar.
guys.
but-
I'm so happy. It's so
it's
good.
pretty neat.
So
Some
this
people
is-
say they like root beer floats.
I was gonna
I
say,
say
I was just getting ready to bring in
You
ice cream.
could do it, but
Now,
honestly, I feel like the scoop of ice cream flavor is almost like there
It's almost
in the aftertaste.
It's
Yeah,
almost
I
like
agree.
vanilla
There's
bean.
this
I agree
creamy
100%.
vanilla bean that just
Ugh,
now
it's
crawls
so
in.
good.
you know what'd be cool is if you got some of that alcoholic ice cream and you did a root beer float
Yeah.
with this with like the alcoholic
So-
vanilla.
Could you
Make
pour
it a-
this over ice?
Why?
You
You could.
You
I like
could.
it.
Yes and no.
I mean, you could. but
If
why?
you wanted to, I mean,
I just wonder. I don't know. Is it-
I'll tell you right now, this would be a beer I would like on draft.
oh my god.
that
Oh,
would
dude,
be
yeah.
cool. That would be
It's
awesome.
so, y'all, the
This- I
texture
think
is
the
fizzy
difference
like a
between
soda.
Oh my god, you need the frosting.
It would
mugs, oh.
wreck. I mean, you'd have to devote whatever you hooked it up to it. But it
Dude,
would
if
be
we had
worth
that
it,
back
man.
at the old open mic nights, oh Jesus.
Oh god.
So this it guys, it just tastes like you popped open a glass bottle of A&W and are just sitting there drinking it. It's so ridiculous
I
how much the flavor is so on
Don't
point.
want young people to know about this.
Yeah.
Well,
But
Yeah, if you
when
see a
you
12-year-old
had to
walking
take your
around
break,
Brevard on the beach,
yeah.
they
Lots
were there because everyone's slamming
It
jewels
is
and like
so
fruit flavored
nostalgic.
jewels. Like, I mean, it could easily be marketed.
It's
the
very
molasses comes through on the nose with every sip I take.
every sip.
And it just it sits there, and then you get the sarsaparilla or whatever.
That may be
It's
what I was mistaking for, like a caramel tone, and maybe
Yeah.
they use a caramel malt. in
There,
the
I mean, to
backbone
me,
of
there
this,
is a mild caramel
But it
aspect to
doesn't
it,
have a-
but it is more
which
molasses.
is cool because it doesn't have a bready aspect, which I didn't want any bready, any pretzel, any biscuit. I didn't want that in my root beer.
Like,
My-
it's
So they're fermenting
just-
this with the sugars.
Okay,
Correct.
so it's
So-
not a malt beverage.
Yeah. Well, it might be. But-
it might be called malting, even when you prep refined like sugar
They're
cane.
considering it a beer, however, it has no wheat,
No,
no barley, no gluten.
so it's a
So
grain-free
technically
malt.
it's-
I think that's what we call
gluten-free.
that.
Yeah.
It could be brewed with sorghum.
Yeah,
or
for all of
something,
you
too.
like
Yeah.
celiacs or gluten-free people that do ciders
it
and stuff
really
like
is.
that, this is an option for you guys.
It
That's
could
a
be
great
rice.
note for me.
You know,
That
I mean,
might
you just
be
need
why I
something
like it so
starchy.
much.
Yeah. It's pretty low ingredients, you guys. Are you ready for this? Water, sugar, molasses, natural flavors, which is probably whatever the botanicals were. Sodium bicarbonate, gum and spices. Gum, Arabic, and spices.
So it's fermented
Like,
molasses.
yeah, it's super low. Like, doesn't
If you
have a ton
distilled
of
this,
stuff
you
in
would
it.
get dark rum.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's-
god.
y'all, it's
It's
so
like
good.
Bayrum mash.
Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like
it's
mash.
So good. I'm trying to savor it.
Blackstrap? Did they
that-
used to call this?
I have like
Can we get their ginger beer back in too?
we never had their ginger beer.
Yeah, we did. Long time ago, like back 2017, I think.
I'll check on it.
Mm.
I've got room in my
Makes
six
me
pack.
If it's
I
better
So
than Barrett's, we
happy.
can carry it.
think
It's so good, you guys.
I'll be finding a home for this in my six pack.
Mm.
Yeah,
it's
for
it's
sure.
pretty cool.
God.
It's definitely throwback flavor. I'd love to have these in a cooler at a party. If I was just rocking on a deck and I'm like, I can't do a beer right now, and somebody was like, have you tried one of these? I'd be shooting
so
hoops in
good.
the driveway like
Yeah.
another time.
Yeah.
It's super carbonated like a soda. It's got a nice effervescence, like big bubble on it. It's just
a little bit of the burn.
The bubble was really
So
nice and
good.
consistent.
yeah.
My favorite thing about root beer though is that little bit of like the bitterness, where it's like almost like temporarily numbing on the tongue for just a second, and
Yeah.
it goes away.
It definitely has that.
I love root beer.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. If everybody's done,
Yep,
Uh,
just finished up.
we've got a cab bottle, but it's not a cab; it's a red blend. But this is the Jeff Runquist 1448 red blend. This is California wine, 2018 vintage. Jeff Runquist is, for me,
One of those.
excuse me. He is, I'm going to say my top 10 winemakers. He's very close to being top 5. I think he's right outside, probably number 6.
Ooh.
All of his wines are solid. Are they world class? Not quite yet. This is his entry level, and it's $18 a bottle. His R is, I think, probably the top line. That runs about 60, 70 a bottle.
I've definitely, I've seen that. Seen
Okay.
that.
Which the R on the label.
The
for
R is on the back.
That's it.
Yeah.
That would be the R on.
Iconic. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen.
I mean,
Very,
yeah,
very simplistic labeling.
I love the label. I'll get into
wants,
that in a little
wants
bit.
the wine to speak for itself.
Is this something I've maybe seen in pop culture?
You've
in
probably
advertising?
seen it in all the Wine Spectators. They've done several articles
Oh
on
yeah,
him through
they
Wine
absolutely
Spectator.
love Runquist.
He's a solid winemaker.
Glasses guys.
He
You confuse me. I'm just trying to get you glass, man.
Sorry, it's laptop.
very
is in the way.
minimalistic labeling, which I totally respect
What's
and
the
I'm
48?
down for.
I'm curious about the reference. It seems like a year reference, but I'm not convinced.
1448, yeah, I'm sure as well.
I was like trying to think about what kind of
It's cool.
year
You can
reference.
short me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
It's-
I don't want
Nick
any.
has more. No, look,
What happened?
Josh has
Oh,
more.
yeah,
I shorted both of us.
It's cool.
compared to-
it's
Well,
cool.
do you want here?
I heard no.
Here.
I'm
here.
just joking.
I can
with
trade
them.
you.
So, full
Disclosure.
disclosure.
We've all been waiting for this moment.
We've also had this bottle open the entire time of this episode. We opened it
Nice.
up before we even began recording.
That makes
so it
sense.
has been sitting
Yeah.
open here for a little bit, guys.
I definitely get some open tint.
Oh
to it,
hell
right?
yeah! I love
The
notes on this.
vanilla is
It's
already
gonna-
creeping
I
out.
haven't started yet.
So on the back
That's
it
pretty.
says 1448, the altitude of our small family winery in the foothills of California's Sierra Nevada mountains.
All right.
So that's what the 1448
In the
represents.
Sierra Nevadas.
It also
Interesting.
says 1448, an assembly of wines from throughout California that delivers fruit-forward flavors with
Got the
a
fruit,
rich
yeah.
texture, sure to delight every palate.
Does it give you the varietals in this blend?
It does not.
Okay. So let's just make it
13.7 ABV though.
Vanilla.
I picked it up on the nose right away.
So
Which I think we got because they let it.
So I'm going to back up Christina on this. This is a wine that needs to breathe for a little while. I'm glad I opened it before the show.
yeah, because the creaminess. Is
I had it the other night and I didn't let it breathe. And my first glass was very
Tannic.
very tannic,
Yeah.
very tight.
The nose is incredible.
We're only,
Vanilla,
what'd you
I'm
say,
telling
half
you, I get
hour?
vanilla.
Creamy.
43
we've been
minutes
about
it's
half
been
an hour,
open.
45 minutes, yeah.
And then basically, well, the first response I got with my nose was, wow, I can like smell opening tannins. Not opened, opening, which shows you how complex we're about to get into.
I get a
But
It's like
I'm getting
creamy.
creamy and
yeah,
vanilla.
I get creamy and vanilla. I also get leather.
I was about to say, kind of like the suede on my
I was
moccasins.
gonna say suede. Yeah,
Yeah, very
that's it.
fresh leather, not the old
Yeah,
leather that we
yeah.
talked about, like designer
Definitely
fresh
suede,
leather.
or like a brand new leather coat.
yeah,
Calf
I was
skin,
gonna say
like, but
wallet,
yeah, I was
but
gonna say
yeah.
like calf skin with a like super smooth kind of feel to it. Oh yeah,
but yeah, a freshness.
Is it even
to that,
taken a sip
not
yet?
worn.
I don't want to. What's
I
the?
know.
What are the spices I'm smelling on there too? Like I'm
Oh.
getting like
Cedar.
Yeah,
lots of
wood.
cedar.
Yeah, but there's something else too. It might be the
Like-
vanilla's.
Is it
Like,
like a
and
little
it's-
bit?
Yeah.
Is
Well,
it
it's
like a
some cherry
hint of
and
juniper
fruit.
or something?
Like there's
Or something
fruit.
like that, like a spruce or something almost, just a hair of it in there.
I
a
don't.
little
I
bit.
wouldn't say spruce. I don't get spruce.
What is it that's between cedar and spruce and
Cypress?
and juniper?
I don't know if I quite get any of that.
Fir.
Ooh. I know the glass is kind of full, but swirl it a little bit and then get some odors.
I don't know.
I mean, Can we just like end the
Oh,
episode with us sniffing it?
The tightness goes away the more you swirl it.
This is a Shure 87
I
microphone.
will say I
think
do
it's
smell
all
some
good.
heat on this
Smell
though,
it.
just a little bit.
Guys,
It's not bad. It's 13 something.
It's just like it's just like a little bit of warmth coming off of it. It makes my nose feel.
There
good.
is a spice.
yeah, not quite anise.
I was just about to say, is that the star? Star anise.
Yeah, star.
Whenever they say star, they always say anise. I don't know why. They'll call it anise, but when they say star, they have to say
Star anise.
anise.
It's
You know,
something like that.
I think it's probably closer. It could be like fennel too.
I also
there
get
we
some
go.
coconut in there.
Yeah, coconut, like
Yeah.
fennel, anise, anise.
Could be the root beer we all just drank, still like talking.
Possibly, but
Yeah.
No, I
Let's
mean,
there's
all
a lot
right.
going on
Let's
in
take a sip. Cheers, guys. What are you drinking now?
almost licorice.
Yeah. Definitely my nose told me when it was time to take a sip, and I waited and I trusted. I'm glad I did. I see where
At
Rob.
first-
I see where Rob walked the plank drinking this fresh the other night. Tartness would have just been overwhelming. You probably wouldn't even have been able to swallow the
this
first sip.
is
I
really
don't
good.
ever take an account sip one. I always do two
Yeah,
or
because
three.
you got clear your palate, but I did appreciate it.
You know, we talk about wines that dry your palate and push moisture away to the edges. This draws your things to the center of your palate.
Holy crap, you guys! This is so good.
Like I feel
I
like I'm ready
really
for
like
a
this.
bite of medium rare
What?
red meat now. You know, like
So, who here has had Jeff Runquist wines before?
I think I have.
I don't know that I have.
I probably have had them at
Does
some
he have
point.
a different blend?
Who
Because I
who
think
here is going to have more Jeff Runquist
Probably. It's
Oh, absolutely.
Y'all.
Oh,
If
this
someone
is-
opens, I'll.
You
get
want to
it.
know what's getting me more than anything? Just after 3 sips, is the smoothness of this wine. I really like the
Alright, so
texture.
this is going to sound funny.
This wine is fun to hold.
What's getting me after 3 sips is my front teeth are tingling.
Oh yeah. No, I mean,
Oh, mine's the top of my lip. My teeth
dude,
never
the
really
tannins
tingle,
are
unless it's like a true teeth
no
sucker.
joke, but this is like
But
good.
it's-
Honestly,
So
guys,
good.
it's the fruit is just opening up to me. I smell this deep cherry, but I'm getting so much more. I'm getting these bright raspberries and just this Play-Doh, not like a single fruit. Like it's this it's like the fruit is in the blender while
Yeah.
I'm tasting it.
And the nose on
But
this
my
is
tongue
just
doesn't
making
get
it
caught.
so much better. Like every time I put my nose in this glass, I just want to take a huge little slug.
Like berry,
You
like
know,
a
like
berry
it's that
smoothie
good.
type fruit.
This is a wonderful wine if you want to learn how to sip wine and why sipping wine is like the way to go to really taste it. This is a great example, man. This is not
Get
your-
up over here taking gulp.
My-
Yeah, you and me both.
My
We're
question
taking
with this
gulps on our
wine,
table.
No,
is
I'm
like,
about to start taking
It's
gulps.
so
It's just-
good, you guys.
like you won't remember what you ate with this. You're gonna remember you had this wine.
I
with
think
dinner.
it's so well
So I'm more
rounded.
concerned with like what kind of lighting did you have with it?
Yeah,
Listen.
I would not want to be in a fluorescent setting for this.
Yeah, you want your halo? You still want your halo light now?
I would actually
It's
prefer.
stop.
I think candlelight would be optimal, but I could
Uh-huh.
go for soft yellow.
Definitely underlit. I'm just thinking. I suddenly don't like this light up here.
I want to
as
see a guy with
Well, are
I need
those-
to
are
see a
those the-
tie
Are those the crazy little curly
across
bulbs?
from me in the
So-
big, tall, high booth?
So,
I don't know if I have a cummerbund, but I think I could find a roughly.
You
shirt
know-
and
you know
cummerbund.
what- you know
young
what-
lighting and dressing up for prom.
You know what would be
let's-
great is if you were drinking this in a room that had like a red incandescent bulb above it, just red light.
Yeah,
everywhere.
like the Elvis room.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be good in the Elvis
So,
room.
so seriously though, what type of food would you consider?
Well,
with this?
right off the beat, there's no missing this. This is a red meat pear. Okay, don't screw up. You know, if this is in a restaurant, it's there because we have venison steaks, or we have this strip cut, or we do this ribeye steak, or something probably a little fatty like a ribeye, or like Kansas City strip versus in New York. But then I'm gonna also say this thing leaves the door wide open for vegetarian cuisine.
Hey, Kay, that's me. AKA, that's me. So I'm gonna say pescatarian wise, swordfish. A swordfish steak.
Yes. Which is cool
A
because
heartier, fish steak It could probably go with something lighter, but swordfish is the first thing I thought
If
of.
you're gonna
versus
go
tuna.
any lighter,
Yeah.
I would.
Because the tuna to me, sorry, Nick.
No, that's
tuna
alright.
to me, I would either want something like, if I'm gonna go red for tuna, I want lighter wine
Okay.
for it. I usually want like a Pinot Noir
Yeah,
with
alright.
tuna. Swordfish definitely has that more meaty sort of texture, meaty sort of flavor to it. And so I would say swordfish. with
100%.
this.
Which is
I
invariably the
would-
red meat of fish.
Yeah.
I would probably go for like a specifically like very hearty like bouillabaisse,
Okay.
like with a tomato broth
Yes.
to get like the deep, earthy, rich tones in there. That way,
That
it
has
could-
a little acid to it.
that would really hold up to this because I think any individual
Maybe
piece
some
of
Cherokee
grilled or
purples.
pan-seared fish may be overpowered by
So-
it.
Rock
I'm
bass.
I'm gonna go back towards Nick with the red meat.
Yeah.
But lamb is
Steak
what
au poivre.
steak au poivre would be amazing with this. Oh god, this nice like whole like barely crushed peppercorn, just like and the gravy.
Which
Because this doesn't have a good, like, not
and I'm
a big pepper spice.
I can ask Rob what cut, and he's gonna say it doesn't matter because what I'm gonna remember is that I had this wine with that steak, and and swordfish is good, and I like this as a pick. Number one, it opens up the whole debate about oily fish, red wine,
Yeah.
white flaky fish, white wine. Is it that simple? Well, what Chilean sea bass? I guess that's rosé. No, I digress. The point being, swordfish. Once you say swordfish, like what are you gonna do? You blacken it. That's it. You cook it. It's a steak of fish.
It
so
is. It's very comparable to
this wine is gonna help you wash
You don't have
down
poivre with swordfish?
some just normal protein,
probably.
and
Poivre.
you're gonna feel like
Swordfish
I mean, it's-
on
We need to
poivre?
visit
It's
with
not just like it's
I think
like
butter-
toasted peppercorn.
butter is going to
Right?
play into
Yeah, and then it's got a
You have like a
mushroom.
mushroom kind of cream
Cream
sauce.
sauce.
Mushroom cream. It like a gravy, but cream sauce because you don't say
We're-
gravy in
yeah,
French.
We're fancy.
Yeah,
with
no,
cream
but
sauces.
oh god, that would.
It probably would be really good with it.
Thing is like, what are you gonna marinate the swordfish in?
We've got plenty of bottles of.
Brian, I would just Brian
1448.
pour the wine
So
out.
we're gonna have a dinner soon.
The
We're
first
gonna
glass of
get
wine
some
that you poured out in
swordfish,
order to
we're
get
gonna
this
pop
Swordfish
open
au poivre, huh?
Is
with-
this like
with
episode
this group, 4 bottles of
50.5?
1448.
Yeah. I just can't I can't ignore that this is gonna make whatever you're cooking good. And here's the deal, you're not gonna remember your food. It's gonna be good, you're gonna like it. You're gonna remember this wine.
I think
And the
I
experience
honestly
with
think lamb would be really good
Yeah.
with this. But
That's
not.
so
I
good.
don't think like rack of lamb. I think like leg of lamb. Like I want a rich, fatty,
Okay.
More of a
thick
dark
meaty. Because like
meat.
when I drink this, I
So
almost.
you're not thinking lollipops.
I was thinking lollipop.
I'm not thinking.
covers.
I'm not thinking lamb lollipop. I'm thinking like
want to get in on
rich,
that.
fatty lamb with this, but with that nice rosemary aspect to it.
I guess it's still picking up
Again,
on
my
wine.
ignorance goes to the fact
Ribeye.
that I've never had it. Is a leg very similar?
Don't
It's
want
like
to
a darker, juicier style meat on the lamb.
I mean, you could akin it to like you could like chicken where you have
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. Like that's where I'm like pulling my knowledge.
the
from.
leg is always gonna be like a fattier kind of cut,
Yeah.
It just it's lamb is lamb
Does
is
it
lamb.
does it render down?
It-
Well, or
it-
does
it
leave
does,
it, like kind of
So like
more
rack
steak
lamb,
wise, where you
cook
have
very
like
little
those chunks
braising.
of fat.
Yeah.
leg of lamb, cook that thing as long as you can. Keep putting juice back over it because you're gonna have to get those sinews to loosen up.
I mean, then I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a fatty,
nature,
tough
a little bit
piece
more
of
of a
meat.
juicier nature to it. This would go pretty well. With
And like
that.
I think Greek festival lamb,
Yeah, that's I think your pure lean cuts, your New York strips, and I mentioned this earlier very briefly. They're gonna get walked on by this wine. You're gonna have to get into at least a bone-in cut like
See,
a Kansas City or a Delmonico.
For some reason tonight, I'm wanting to like mix cultural barriers and do lamb asambuco.
Yeah,
lamb osabuco
Yeah.
would be awesome with this.
Like
That-
a
Back
lamb
when I
is
was
a
still eating
classic.
could eat meat, veal ossenbuca. Oh god.
the
I love
marrow,
When I was-
nothing's like scooping
when I was
the
talking
marrow
about
out of the
redoing
bone.
the yeah,
So good.
which is a big time
So
rosemary,
good.
parsley, back to your Mediterranean herb collection.
Yep. I think that probably right there is a good thing. The Mediterranean herbs mixed with.
Which
Yeah.
brings me back to there's a whole vegetarian palette left open with this. There's this vegetal quality in this.
Well, if you're looking at
a
a lot of-
leafiness.
Well, the Mediterranean, I feel like Indian cooking kind of pulls some Mediterranean sort of styles over into it. So, like, Indian cooking has a lot of
Yeah, I feel like whenever someone brings up
most
Indian cooking, I'm
vegetarian
thinking
style. You know
cumin,
what I'm saying?
and I'd
I'm
be
thinking
very
cumin,
careful
I'm thinking
about what.
curry, and I'm not thinking that's going
I'd be
to
You know,
very
But
careful
think
if
about
about
I
the
was-
chickpea recipes.
If-
that don't,
if I was
yeah, that's where
gonna-
I'm pulling like the eastern side of India kind of pulls. I feel.
I'll tell you right now, if I was gonna do
Western side of India
if I was gonna
pulls
do a
from the
vegetarian
Mediterranean.
dish with this, I would do like a balsamic marinated portobello cat,
Yeah,
and I would grill it
Yeah.
and get a thick char on it.
I think the mushroom bringing the earthiness, tying into the veggie. quality
That
be
would be
good.
like that would be the ultimate
yeah. It's
thing.
All right.
it's a nice wine.
So
Let's start reviewing.
yeah, I was going to say we've definitely gone.
We
you
hit
know,
the
on a
food
tangent.
palette.
None of us are hungry.
We hit the dinner bell.
yeah, not one bit.
All right, Josh. Start off with
We
your
are in a
Polish
pandemic quarantine and haven't eaten like.
true meal.
I'm sorry that we want leg of lamb. And
There's only
Marinated
so many
portobello
frozen
caps.
fish fillets I
Just
can
know
pull out of
the
the
four of us are
freezer.
probably going to go out for a very nice dinner once all this goes down.
oh yeah,
So Josh, start
absolutely.
us off.
Absolutely, what I gotta say about the Blowing Rock Cranberry Pomegranate Kolsch, I'm gonna give it a solid thumbs up. Representative of the style of the Kolsch, I can taste the cranberry, the pomegranate. It's really solid beer. I like it. I would definitely drink it. It's not my favorite. Maybe I want more Kolsch. Maybe I want more cranberry pomegranate. You know, but it's a really cool style. Blowing Rock doesn't make bad beer. So I mean, it's a solid thumb up for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Josh on this. A solid thumb up. I'm gonna throw like the outline around the thumb and all that. You know, am I gonna break out the second thumb for Blowing Rock? Not on this beer. I'm gonna wait for Blowing Rock to blow me away and break out my second thumb. And it could go up or down. So you know, what I like about this is it's true to style of Kolsch. I think we all pretty much agree on that. It's not the best Kolsch we had, but it's true to style and brings us back to nice, easy drinking Kolsch. We talked about German beers and this and that, and this is what I would hope Kolsch makes us do. The fruit was wonderful. It was a pleasant tartness, not overbearing, just right down the middle, not too juicy and sweet. So for a person who likes beer, wants to change it up, try a little fruit flavor, this is a great option, and the price is right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$2.75.
Can I go
Go
off
for
of
it.
cut a little
Go for
bit
it.
what Nick just said? Blowing Rock does not make a bad beer. I've enjoyed everything I've had from them. Their representatives are phenomenal human beings. Like they're just a cool little company, and I love their regular Kolsch. Like their house Kolsch is so good. It's perfectly on
Right.
brand. It's very well made. To me personally, I didn't really love the fruit flavors added to it. If anything, I'd rather just take their OG Kolsch. So that's where I'm going to go with a solid one as well. So far, all the way around. It is a solid beer. Just me personally, I don't really care for the fruit aspect. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago when I had this beer, I don't even know if it would have hit a 1. Drinking it again tonight, I did enjoy it a little bit more. Again, like I said, it could have been the difference in the glasses or the temperature and stuff going on with it. But I did enjoy it a little bit more. Mildly tart, really crisp and refreshing, but I do prefer their standard Kolsch better. So, 1.
So, I think I'm going to jump on the one thumb up bandwagon here. And here's why. I like it as a Kolsch. Shows a lot of the qualities of Kolsch. I think Christina just hit on it for me, and it took me the whole time until she said that to realize that I don't like the fruit flavors as much. If it were just a straight Kolsch, I think it'd be a lot better. I do like the tartness, however, not in Kolsch. Let's go with something else. Kolsch to me, straight, crisp, summer beer. Let's get done and gone. That's what I'm looking for. So solid 1. What do we have, Christina? No, you were third. Nick.
Before
next, hop
we
rooted.
got to the soda, we did that. We felt the earth a little bit in this one, guys. Hop rooted, 7 Clans. I was very happy. I don't expect huge things from Seven Clans. Number one, price point is right in line with our 275. So this thing's bottom shelf approachable. I think we nailed it, honing it down to being maybe a smash beer, single malt, single hop profile. We do believe that they are telling the truth about the dry hopping. That this is definitely a dry hop brew. I'm gonna have to throw this thing a solid thumbs up. So just like the Blowing Rock, this was a pleasant beer. I enjoyed drinking it. I don't know that I'm running back to the cooler for another one. If I'm at a deck party and there's other beers, I might try something else. But I might come back to this. It may not be my last Seven Clans, but the beer was good. We liked it. It was not overly hoppy, not overly bitter, not overly malty. So clean, crisp.
Yeah, I'd say I'm somewhere between a thumb and a thumb .25. So I can't, just a little over one. Is about the best I could rate this. It reminded me a lot of the English style IPAs. It's not terribly hoppy, but it's hoppy enough that it can't really be an English IPA. But it was really nice. The Centennial hop really comes through. Every flavor profile you'd expect from Centennial really comes through. I wonder if it's a smash. If it is, it's a really good smash. If it's a smash beer, then we'll get 2 thumbs up from me. It's really cool.
Hey, Seven Clans, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Because Josh could amend his.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just single malt, single hop, this is a really well executed single malt, single hop. I mean, that's really good. If not, I mean, it's a really solid beer. I'm very impressed by this. I have nothing bad to say about it. Maybe more hops, maybe more malt next time. I don't know, but I mean, I think it's just good.
Yeah.
I'm actually right there kind of with Josh. I can't decide if it's a 1 or a 1. I still don't know how I feel about it. Now, it's one of those beers, if I was doing a 6-pack grab bag and I wanted all IPAs, I would definitely grab this because the can grabs my attention.
Right.
I love the artwork on it. Again, flavor-wise, to me, it was a little bit flat. Like, there wasn't, on the nose, I smelled something, on the palate, I tasted something else. So it was like a little bit confusing, and I couldn't figure out exactly how I felt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you said it was very thin. I totally agree with that. Like, as soon as it hit my tongue, like, it was just like, all right, that's all you get. And
All
so, like, I liked it, but I'm not sure how much I like it.
Yeah.
So anywhere between a 1, 1.25, it's right there. Like, it's definitely one of those, again, if I'm grabbing another 6-pack of IPAs, I might throw it in there just to have a little bit of variety. It was a little bit more floral than I thought it was going to be, so, but then the whole idea of hop rooted kind of makes sense now that we're thinking all out loud, guys. But
It's
it
beer,
was
it's
all right.
complex. Yeah, it's very simple.
So,
Very simple. So I'm gonna go away from these guys. I'm going with 0.75.
Oh.
yeah, I knew you didn't care for
And
it.
the reason is because it took me so long to figure out if I liked it.
Yeah.
The whole time we're tasting it, there's a flavor profile there I couldn't put my finger on, but it just wasn't there for me.
Mhm.
I do think it's a decent beer. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna not drink it. You know, it's not like I'm gonna go and look at it and say a Miller Lite or this, and pick the Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No offense to Miller Lite.
Yeah, I will drink this. I'm not, if somebody hands it to me, I'm not gonna, you know, oh, why you hand me this type thing. But it just didn't quite hit it for me. Like I said, the flavor profile, the nose on it I thought was really nice. But the flavor profile, just, there was something there that was missing and was oddly strange to me. And I couldn't quite figure out what it was. So I have to give it a 0.75 because it took me so long just to decide if I liked it or not. And that's where I'm at with it. So, your root beer?
I think we all know where I'm gonna go with this. This is 2 plus a very giant Christina smile to the Row Hard root beer. Like, I loved this so much. I was very excited. I didn't even think about doing this on the show until today. And I was like, oh, we have to do that.
I firmly believe if she were here last week, we would have.
Maybe, yeah. It's so good, you guys. If you enjoy root beer, like a standard old school style root beer, you have to pick up this can.
Yeah.
Also, we're looking also at $2.75 on this.
We are?
Like,
That's
it's
a tall
pint
one.
can, good full 16 ounces, $2.75.
675 ABV.
It's so good. It tastes like nostalgic childhood when you're at whatever, place that you can get all the glass bottles. Like, you're popping one open. It's so good.
I'm back in like Woodfield Mall, 1988
it's so
at the
good.
A&W.
I love it. Two very, very enthusiastic thumbs up.
I'm at the ice cream stand after Little League Baseball.
Yeah.
Like you're at the ball field.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every coach takes their team out for ice cream or root beer floats or whatever.
It's so
Yeah.
good. So where are you gonna go rating wise? I don't think you're gonna go full 2. But
no, I'm not. But I am going to go 175. I thoroughly enjoy this beer. I think as long as it's available to us, it'll have a place on our shelf. It's a solid. I love telling people this is root beer. This is root beer. If you like root beer, you can't not like this.
Agreed.
It's not overly sweet, but it is sweet. But it's not like
Yeah.
It's not syrupy on the
exactly.
texture. Like it literally is bubbly like a soda.
Yeah. This is great little root beer. This is like drinking your A&W with ice cream. It's a root beer float in a can. I do enjoy it. 175 on that. Off to you.
Yeah, my favorite part is the fact that this is true to recipe. Like Rob said, this is root beer. This is a soda. This is a hard soda. Back when they made hard sodas, but now this is made for us today. There's a lot of products that are trying to be like this, and let me tell you what their taste comes off like. Their taste comes off like a really bad malt beverage, which I could go back to drinking Zimas and icing my bros. Okay.
Is
Don't
Zima
call
still
it the Zimas, man.
Hey, is Zima still a thing, or is
They
it?
brought him back a few years ago, and you want to know who went and bought a 6-pack? This guy.
That white.
That was.
I did. I had to go.
It sounds
I
like
had to get some.
if there was bros icing bros, there was sisters, Zima and sisters. All right.
Oh my God.
I think my point being, let me get off the Plank Road Brewery trip here. This thing is true old school, like when Rob talked about the guy in the wagon riding around, like ready to give you a fresh mug of his old hooch. When we talk about the root beer guy down in like Southport, 4th of July, like celebration, those guys used to
ones that have
have
the
a
huge
barrel
cups.
of this stuff on the truck behind the curtain. You'd be like,
Yeah.
let me get that stuff. This is what root beer was prior to 1919. Things changed in this country, and good, bad, worse, and different. But there are these elements of the past that people are spending time to dig up, to unearth, craft, to bring back to their original quality,
Honor the past.
and put into the modern market in a pint-sized can at a comfortable price of $2.75. Please, Rob, carry this beverage every day. Hard root beer will be one of the single greatest additions to the office for the summer. I'm going to give it, and this is going to blow you guys' mind, I'm going to give it the 1.5 thumbs. I know I wanted that 2 thumbs up. I know. And I was going solid thumb. I'm feeling really good about this beverage. It didn't touch any of my food allergies. Feels great. Sharing it with friends. I'm there. 1.5 thumbs.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go out 2 thumbs for me.
Bam!
This is an absolutely phenomenal beverage.
It's
I have no criticisms about it. It's sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's not cloying in really any way. It tastes like what root beer is supposed to taste like. If you ever had like the good old root beer. These I've been drinking this stuff for at least 3 to 4 years that they've been making it, and it is good. They make a ginger beer that is just as good. Oh my god! Now this is amazing stuff. There's just nothing bad I can say about it. Everyone else has already said what I can say. I mean, I can drink this at any point in time. It brings back awesome childhood memories. I remember the first time I had root beer at a pizza shop. I was sitting there with mom and dad getting slices of pizza, and Barg's root beer was on the
Yeah.
And I tried it, and it's like I had A&W before, and I didn't like it, and then I had Barg's. Like,
It's
what
got
is
the
this?
bite.
What is this stuff? And then I fell in love with it, and no, it reminds me of the first time I enjoyed some crazy root beer. So between the memories and the flavor and just the quality of the beverage and the price and the size and the impact, I mean, it's just a perfect beverage. I mean, for what it is, it hit it out the park.
Yeah. So I think that brings us to the
Bart's
line.
is the one.
1448 time.
1448.
You like
Jeff
root beer plus
Rundquist,
one.
Rundquist Winery, out of California. It's a red blend, and I'm going to say, for me, because Rundquist is one of my favorite winemakers. Always quality, solid. I'm going to go 2. And I'm now. Honestly, I'm going to go light 2. I could go a little bit less, but I think this is solid. Price point. This is a great $18 bottle of wine. If I had the R, $60, $70, that would be a great little $60, $70 bottle of wine. They don't make bad wine. He doesn't make bad wine. So this is solid. I think it's a great food pairing wine. Probably does want to be a dinner wine. So you can drink it on its own, but I think it probably will shine even more with dinner. So I'm going to go with 2 thumb and pass on.
I'm kind of gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go 175, but it's probably a little bit more. Maybe a 1.9. It's almost in that 2. I think what pushes it up for me is price point for the quality of this wine and the fact of I love the labeling. Everything Rehnquist does is that super minimalistic style, which just pulls to my heart. I love a bottle that doesn't have so much going on, that's a little bit mysterious, which this one is. We still don't know the grapes in there. I'm sure we can maybe find them out, but I enjoyed just sipping on it and trying to figure out what I was tasting. I mean, between the 4 of us, we sat here for a good while trying to figure out
Just
what
the nose.
spice, what this. Yeah, we hadn't even taken a sip
I'm
yet.
so glad she just brought that up. We don't know what grape we
Yeah.
just drank.
It's very well made. I enjoyed it a lot, and the whole food aspect. It can go with a lot of different style foods, and that brings it to a nice dinner table wine, especially maybe at a restaurant where everybody's ordering different dishes.
Yep.
This could go with a lot of stuff. I highly enjoyed this wine. Can't wait to have another glass. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's so many good things to say about this. I do think they sold a little secret, and Rob has wine knowledge. He told us at the beginning, he said, look, here's some wine in a Cabernet bottle. I'm going to guess that there's a lot of Cabernet in there. At least 40
Probably.
to 50%, okay?
Probably.
A cab-driven red. I'm going to think. Now, is there Pinot? Is there Shiraz? Or Syrah, because it's Cali. But here's what I really got out of this wine. I was like, here's this elegant, American-palated, American-bodied Spanish red from a French varietal. That's what I got out of this. Was
A
who
lot.
took cab,
Yeah.
moved it to the Central Valley of Spain, and then gave it the refreshing quality of a Western American wine. It's awesome because I'm just blown away, and I think the big thing is enjoy this with some food, but enjoy this with some friends, because this is one of those wines where a glass. Remember, you guys were talking about you guys got slightly underpoured and we got slightly overpoured. If that's the case, look where Josh and I are. We're basically your last sip and our last sip is all here together.
So before Josh,
It's a perfectly portioned wine. I can't give it 2 thumbs up. There's wines we've had that have just this thing to them with body and
Okay.
completeness that I almost think that's why this is a table wine. This is made for food. That's why this is slightly under $20. It's approachable, it's affordable, it's wonderful. It's entry level for the palate. You can share this with friends and you're not going to have a hard time pouring that glass for your friends.
Yeah.
All that having been said, I'm going to give it a 1.5.
okay. Before Josh gets into it, now I'm going to guess. You asked, you think it's probably 50%. I'm going to guess that it's going to be 60% cab, probably in the area of 10 to 15% Syrah, and then finish off with Merlot.
I was about
I
to say
was
Merlot.
gonna
is
say-
I
Merlot,
was gonna
Merlot,
say
huh?
Cab Merlot. I wasn't gonna throw a third grape in.
They
but
used
I
to call it
definitely
Camelot.
think it's a Cab Merlot blend.
I was-
maybe with something
I was
else.
gonna go along Christina's thing, mainly Cab Merlot with God
May-
knows what other little grapes thrown in.
I see
Yeah.
Rob on the Syrah. I definitely do.
Maybe
Very
the
Cote
Syrah.
Rhone
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
feel, but then pushed way southern with the exposure. So it's
Tune
like,
in next week. We'll try to find out, and we will give you those varietals, guys. Okay?
So Josh,
What's
Um,
yours, Greg?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that flavor wise, appreciation line, I'm gonna give it a solid 1.5. Absolutely amazing wine. For the value, more
Yeah.
than 2 thumbs.
Yeah.
I mean, for an $18 bottle, this is a ridiculously good
I
quality.
really appreciate his
Um,
double vote there.
Yeah. Normally, okay, I mean, you just have to take it into account with the value. What are you getting? Like, this is a really good wine for the value. You don't normally get, if you can spend $18 on a bottle of wine, you don't normally get a wine of this quality.
Yeah.
Well, in my experience, you don't. If you know what you're doing, you can find it. I don't always know what I'm doing, but yeah, this is really good stuff. It would pair awesomely well with
At
so
least
many.
you still get laid when you get home with the Dreaming Tree wine.
oh, he went there.
Does anyone even listen to Dave Matthews anymore?
Bad Nick.
I actually do know people that.
Back to Josh, please.
Oh my god, it's
Sorry.
a hard one. It's a hard one.
I
to recover.
apologize to everyone for that, even Dave.
I mean, that's a hard one to recover from, man. That's like watching.
So-
like,
So you
So
enjoyed it.
Finish your review off, and then we can get out of here.
yeah, no, I mean, it's
None of that elucidated you.
excellent wine. It would go great with so many things. I really want to try it with some of these dishes, and I think it'd be really cool for us to get together and do like a 0.5
Well-
episode one day once all this craziness is over.
I'm down for it.
And pick some of our favorite things, pair it, and do some of these crazy stuff. Like now I'm obsessed with swordfish au poivre.
I put that in mind, huh?
And I swear to God, if any of you people seeing this on the internet beat me to that, I will find you.
Also, if you guys have any suggestions on certain beers or certain wines that you want us to review, if we can get it, we will do it. Right?
That's right.
So, throw down your requests and stuff in the comments, all that good stuff.
Like,
Subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Please
Like.
subscribe. We
Yeah,
love it when you
we
subscribe.
are on YouTube
Subscribe.
and
We
Facebook.
put it up on Facebook.
So our main subscription there would
Like,
be on YouTube.
comment,
So
subscribe.
It's literally, what are you drinking now?
Just
Type
remember,
that in
if
and
you
it pops up.
subscribe, like any of the cool stuff that we are planning on doing, like the little half episodes and stuff, you'll get notifications about it. You'll
Yep.
know that we're doing whatever we're doing.
Also, if
you'll
you
know about.
if you like and comment and you don't subscribe, how's anyone in your network really gonna see your comment anyways?
Exactly. So do all three.
all right, guys. That was our 50th episode. So we're 2 episodes away from being a 1-year-old. So we will see you next week.
And that's when Rob's whipping out the really expensive bottle.
So we'll see you next
If I don't
week.
sell it
Bye,
first.
guys.
Have a good one. Bye.